Hi there. So, how to have a spiritual awakening? This is a great topic, and I'm really excited about this one. I think this is going to be a very useful, practical, information packed video for those who are perhaps just embarking on a spiritual path or have been on one for some time, yet are seeking something more interesting, more mind-blowing, more revealing of themselves and of reality. So I think that this will be a very useful video on this topic of what can you actually do in a practical sense, how to approach your life in a different sort of a way in order to bring about some sort of a spiritual awakening type of experience. So the first thing that I'm going to mention here is that spiritual awakenings are not likely something that is going to happen in the course of watching a YouTube video. By that, I'm not suggesting to stop watching the video, but spiritual awakening is something that is beyond the realm of intellectual understanding. And so, watching videos, reading books, going to lectures and hearing speakers, etc., are very helpful in terms of gathering information, coming to greater understanding of what the spiritual path is all about, what to expect, etc. But this is all still within the realm of the mind and the intellectual, and spiritual awakening is beyond the mind. So what is spiritual awakening? What does that even mean? Lots of people these days are talking about their spiritual awakening. This has become kind of a almost common course of discussion in today's world, which is awesome. But what does that actually mean? So spiritual awakenings can take on many, many different forms. It could be having a third eye opening in which you see into another dimension. It could be a out-of-body experience in which you leave your body and travel to the astral realms. It could be a Kundalini awakening, which is a awakening of very powerful inner energies that rises up the chakras and invigorates the mind. It could be suddenly seeing other people's auras, or seeing the energy fields of trees. It could be a angelic being coming to you and speaking to you and seeing a vision, or else hearing voices of some sort of a otherworldly entity. So the mind is a tool for us as humans for dealing with the material third dimensional physical realm. The mind is centered in the brain, and not that it's confined to the brain, but mental capacity is basically about our ability as humans to navigate this world of ours and get done what we need to get done. Find food, find shelter, ward off predators, find a mate, have status in this world, etc. But to the best of my understanding, this physical realm is not all that exists. There are other dimensions, there are other realms, other worlds, other beings beyond this physical world. And so spiritual awakening is about having a inner experience which connects you with a part of yourself beyond the mind, and thus awakens within you a latent part of yourself, a part of yourself that has otherwise been inaccessible to you, asleep, unawakened. And so the idea is to awaken these other aspects of oneself. And in the awakening of these other aspects of oneself beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond the intellect, then that gives you the ability to connect with these other realms that exist beyond the physical world. And so spiritual awakenings can take on many different forms, and the idea is not to have anything in particular in mind. Well, you can, you can if you want. If you are interested in a third eye opening, then there are specific ways to do that in particular, so there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But one quick little note that I will make here is that these kinds of desires can potentially be distractions, can have pitfalls, can be traps of sorts, because ultimately the spiritual path is really about being more in the present moment, grounding your being within yourself, coming to greater understanding of the self, and coming to greater peace of mind and happiness and contentment in the present moment. And oftentimes people's curiosity and desire and interest in the concept of spiritual awakenings can come about as a result of boredom, loneliness, feeling disconnected socially, and just wanting things to be different. And having strange, weird, otherworldly types of experiences can potentially be a distraction from and a means of avoidance of dealing with that state of being that one is trying to escape from, of loneliness and boredom and apathy and difficult emotions and frustration with life, etc. And that ultimately dealing with that inner stuff is the core spiritual work that needs to be done. Because otherwise, these kinds of things can be escapes, they can be potentially entertainment of sorts, learning how to astral project, to leave the body as a way of getting away from your body and your world, your life, because you don't like it. And so that doesn't mean that there is anything necessarily wrong with seeking to have a spiritual awakening or a metaphysical type of experience, but just to keep that in mind, that these types of experiences should be a complement to one's spiritual work of focusing on one's inner stuff and inner growth, regardless of weird, strange, mind-blowing, out there, crazy, wild types of spiritual experiences. And so these experiences absolutely are valid and are part of the spiritual path, but don't let them become a distraction and a means of avoidance of your deeper feelings of discontentment that you may have in your life. And that one can have a dual track of focusing on the base, simple, straightforward, here now, what's wrong with my life at this moment types of stuff, but I want to know, what star system I come from, and I want to see into other dimensions, and I want to talk to angels, and blah blah blah. So I think that's enough on that. So I will finally get to the actual core subject matter of this video: how to actually have a spiritual awakening. What can you actually do in a practical sense to make ripe the possibility for some sort of a spiritual awakening experience to occur? So, as I said, then it is about getting beyond the mind, getting out of your mind in a way. And so to a great extent then, it is about contacting other parts of oneself other than just the mind. The first thing really is just to put that intention out there. Just to say to the universe, say to yourself, I want to experience something beyond what I've experienced so far in my life, in the realms of consciousness and the metaphysical and the spiritual, whatever that means. And I just want to know. I just want to know what's really going on, what is beyond this world and beyond my limited experience in this life. And I just give me a sign, God. Show me something, unveil, pull the curtain back, and give me a glimpse into the otherworldly realms. So just put that intention out there. But then there are lots of specific things that one can do that will help bring about the possibility of at the very least, just deeper inner spiritual understanding of yourself and the world and the purpose of your life, and perhaps some sort of a mind-blowing, weird type of experience that just totally alters your perception of reality. So the basic idea is to start stretching your consciousness. So when you practice yoga, you're stretching your body, you're strengthening your body. You're not just your body; it's also about spiritual energies. And yoga is one great way to help facilitate spiritual awakening. But the physical component of yoga is about stretching and strengthening the body, so that you have greater flexibility and can utilize to a greater extent the potential of your body, to have greater access to what your body offers you in your life. And so the idea is to apply the same concept to your consciousness and to start stretching and strengthening your consciousness, so that you start accessing other parts of yourself and coming to a greater understanding of the potential of your consciousness, the power of your consciousness, the nature of your own unique individual consciousness, and what that actually means to be a conscious human being, and how can you shift your consciousness in various ways in order to utilize your true potential and apply that to your life in a practical way. And so there are lots of straightforward practical things that one can do. And one of the important things to keep in mind is how can you really push yourself in ways that challenge you on a mental, emotional, spiritual consciousness level. So just start reaching out in your life and getting away from the internet, for example, which is pretty much a purely intellectual exercise, and it really puts people up in the head. And get away from the television, and get away from the bar, and various social activities that are not conducive to spiritual understanding, and get out into nature, go on walks, go on hikes, push your body, and pushing your body pushes your mind and your emotions. Perhaps go on a backpacking trip alone in the wilderness, if that's something that you're able to do. But just start thinking of ways that you can break out of the box, break out of the societal matrix of your life, and start reaching for other ways of being. And I kind of forgot to mention here, but just my own experience, and I'm not going to dwell on this for long, but I just wanted to make the point, if I'm going to talk about how to have a spiritual awakening, that I've had an assortment of experiences of my own. I experienced the astral traveling state. I experienced an out-of-body experience. I had a very powerful Kundalini awakening. I've had various psychedelic types of experiences that were very powerful spiritual, some of them awakening experiences. I've had deep meditations, I've practiced yoga, etc. So my point being that I'm speaking from some experience here.